How's everyone doing? Thank you for coming back to the channel. Another day, another problem with the Nitro. So before, I don't know if you guys watched the last video I just released of my Nitro runaway, but pretty much this turned into a runaway, and it was a problem that I didn't even see coming. So I'll show you what happened in a second here, but pretty much kind of like cut my finger pretty deep because I grabbed the car to stop it from running away, and when I grabbed the car, I grabbed like, I guess over here somewhere, and something, either I think the belt freaking cut the shit out of me before I could get my finger away from what was going on. I was trying to pull the car away because the front wheel was pushing against the table and I didn't want the front wheel to break off, so I tried to grab the car and pull it back. When I grabbed the car and pull it back, freaking the belt just cut like a giant, really cut me very badly, like the worst I've been cut. So yeah, the car got me pretty good, and it didn't really even make it that far. The sad part is it was a freaking stupid freaking thing that caused us to run away. I'll show you what happened now. Turn the radio system on. So here we go, we have the radio system. So watch the servo. Alright, so the radio system should be on at least. Okay, there we go. For some reason nothing's happening. Oh yeah, I unplugged the servo because I got plans. So now we have more stuff to work on once again. Can't even run this yet because I have to do more work to this again now. Alright, so I want you to watch the servo. I got this good light over here. Watch the screw on the servo and watch the servo. Alright, so when I open the throttle, that's wide open throttle. That's fine. Watch what happens when I hit the brakes. You seen how it skipped? Now watch what happens when I take my finger back to neutral and put the remote down. Do you see anything wrong here? This is now pulling the throttle open. Okay, now watch what happens. Watch this, the center of the screw, and watch the arm. You seen how it skipped? So either the servo is stripped or this is stripped. And yeah, and pretty much when I guess when I was out there blipping the throttle, it skipped a tooth. I don't know if I went and hit the brakes like that. You seen how that skipped? And then when I let go of the remote, I'm not holding the remote now. You can see the position of that. Now watch what happens if I go back to full throttle. It'll skip again, and now when I let it go, it's normal. So I thought I was getting radio interference. I couldn't figure out what was going on because I was giving it a rev and it seemed fine. And then I was testing the radio equipment. I went to push the brakes and it skipped like that and started pulling. The car started trying to drive away by itself. So I was sitting there holding the brakes on, and then as soon as I went to release my controller back to neutral position, it turned into a full-blown runaway and started driving across the yard. It drove like just a few feet away and drove into the leg of the table, but it was like pushing the steering way to the side. So I tried to pull the car back, and when I grabbed the car, it freaking sliced my finger very, very deeply. So kind of pissed off about that, but what are you gonna do? But now I once again have to remove this servo for a third time now because I had the original servo in there, which I took out, and I put this Kyosho servo in. Then I decided to order the correct servo for this car because this servo horn didn't seem to fit all that well on here. So then I put this servo in here. So this is the third servo that I've had in this car since I've had it, and I haven't even driven it yet. And I already took this off of here a second ago and looked at this. And to be honest with you, the teeth on the servo itself don't look to be that sharp. They don't look to be very good condition. And the same goes for the servo horn. So instead of keeping this, like keeping this old school electronics and servo horn here, I'm just gonna have to go in and use this Kyosho modern one, because I know that this servo horn I have on here is not stripped out. This is brand new. I have a ton of these from all the servos I've had and I've ordered and stuff. So I know that this horn is brand new, and I know the teeth on this are good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install this. In place of that, I can even cut these two tabs off of here to make it the same thing as that. So yeah, I have to take this apart yet again. I want to thank you all for tuning in and watching this, because this is what it's really like when you're trying to work on something that's old and hasn't been ran in years, and you're trying to get it going. And these are the types of things that happen when you're trying to get old stuff going again. So I mean, you run it. This is what it is. This is the hobby. So I mean, I'm making these videos so I can show everyone what it's really like. I'm not trying to cut and edit all of the I mean, I guess this, if you've watched me take this servo out a few times, it can get boring, but this is real life. This is what's really going on. So the thing turned into a runaway. Freaking mangled my finger, and now I have to take this apart again because this is not very good condition. Trying to get you guys in there so you can see see how those don't look too sharp. Like, this is the one that I took out of the car, and these ones actually look better than the one that I bought from eBay, if you ask me. And then if you look into the bottom of this here, let me see if I can get a better angle. I'm gonna have to let me put this down. I'm going to have to take these linkages back off, the ones that I just put on there. I'm gonna have to take the fuel tank back out of here because the fuel tank is in the way of holding these screw holes onto the back of that. So yeah, basically we're in for some fun. I have to work on this yet again, which I don't mind because, you know, as long as we get it running good, I don't really care. But this is taking a freaking long time to get running good, I'll tell you that much. This is freaking ridiculous. I'm trying to see what I have going on here because this linkage looks like it's loosened. So I guess I'm gonna start by taking that linkage back off of the car, trying to get it so you can see what I'm working on here. It's kind of difficult to record this stuff and work on it at the same time. Let me get this fuel line out of the way so that I can get you guys in there to see exactly what I'm doing here. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is just loop this fuel line back around into the tank so that it doesn't spill all over the place. Now, can you guys see that screw that I'm gonna take out? You should be able to see the screwdriver going in there. take this right out of the way. So yeah, we got some kinks to work out still because this baby took off, turned into a runaway, cut the crap right out of my finger. So we still got some stuff to work on here. Okay, let's see. Alright, so I got that linkage off of there now, so you guys can see that. I got the linkage that I was waiting for in the mail, and then I just installed. So this thing is fighting me every step of the way. This car is fighting. So we're gonna get her running, but she's a fighter, I'll tell you that much. She's not cooperating very easily, I'll tell you that. Let's try to get this linkage off here. You guys can see what I'm doing. I'm just trying to wiggle this linkage off of there. Okay, so you guys can see. I just wiggled that off of the brake. So now we have this totally separated from the car. So that's step one with that. Now, I'm trying to see what I want to do first. Do I want to attach this stuff to the new servo first? Or do I want to remove this servo out of the car, which I'm going to have to cut all my zip ties again, which I just got done putting matching zip ties on yesterday, trying to clean it all up and make it nice. So we got to do one thing at a time. I guess let's finish taking it apart before we start putting stuff back together. So I'm going to take this fuel tank back off yet again. So let's get right into it. I'm going to be an expert at this thing when I'm done. I'll tell you that. I'm going to know every inch of this car, how to fix everything, because look at that. I even know how to take the fuel tank off without spilling it all over the place now. Just loop the line back into the thing. Okay, what do we got to do next? We got to take this servo off of here. I don't know if you guys can see the screws that I'm working on. I'm trying to get the light on a little better for you guys. There you go. So I'm getting a little bit better at this stuff. But do you see what I'm saying? The gas tank screw holes are actually molded into the chassis on both sides. And they didn't do that with these freaking servo screws. They could have just molded a piece of plastic with a hole in it. And you could have plugged your stuff right in there. And you would never have to take the freaking gas tank out. But is everybody smart? I don't think so. So let me see what we got going on here. Got that screw over there. I'm gonna keep all these screws organized so it's easy to put back together. Hope you guys enjoy the content, enjoy the videos, because I know that I go through YouTube and there's nothing to watch. Like, I watch on the weekends mostly. So I go through YouTube and there's nothing to watch, which is the reason I started making videos anyway, was because like you get a couple minutes of a video for the day and then there's nothing to watch for the rest of the day. So I think I could help by filling in some of that time there with my builds and stuff. I was actually gonna get this out there and try to run this today on the street, but I figured, let me test this out in the yard. Let me test this out in the backyard and get it, and at least make sure that it runs still, because I haven't run it since I started it up. I think the first time on the video when I first got this going. I haven't started it up since then. So I figured, let me just do that. Let me go in the backyard and make a short video of getting this started up in the first place. get it going again, get a decent tune on it before I even take it out to the street, so that I know I'm not gonna walk all the way down to the street up by the road over there and the thing not even turn on or whatever. Need that piece of plastic out of here. Get it now. Okay. Alright. So I gotta find the piece of plastic that was on the other side of the servo here. I don't know where I took it off and did with it. I got the one side. Wasn't paying attention, I was talking. Alright, let me get the snips and cut these. I'll find that piece of plastic in a second. Let me get these snips and cut this zip tie off of here without cutting all these wires. There we go. And I just put these zip ties on there, yet I changed the color of the zip ties so that everything would match. And then this is what happens. So be prepared to constantly be fixing stuff if you buy an old Nitro, because that's what's gonna happen. Alright, I gotta get this servo out of here now. So bye-bye vintage servo number 2. And welcome back, Kyosho servo donation truck servos. Because, yeah, that was the only thing I got left of that. Kyosho is the freaking servos. So, where did that piece of plastic go? That would be nice. I got one. It's got to be right there. There it is, on top of the belt. I was like, man, I know it's here somewhere. Now you're telling me they couldn't have molded that into the freaking chassis? What are you gonna do? Alright. So now the car is back into a million pieces once again. Into a million pieces. Thanks. All because of a servo horn that stripped, and it's like a snowball effect. One little thing, another little thing, another little thing, and next thing you know, you rebuilt the car 3 times already and still have not driven it down the street. But this is the importance of testing your car before you take it down the street, because if I would have took this out with the setup it had on it, it would have been bye-bye car. It would have been no more Nitro car. It would have been in a million pieces. So now I'm attempting to hold this plastic up underneath the screw hole while I get the screw started from the top side, which I got this servo horn in my way. So now let me try to get this screw going here with this little screwdriver. Alright, so I think that one started. Let's do number 2. Let's see if we can get a little faster at fixing this thing, because this is like, how many times have I done this now? 3 times? 3 times fixing the same part. I should have just left it the first time I had it fixed with the parts I had on there. Hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I'm really not looking at the camera too much because I'm trying to concentrate on this stuff and get this back on here once again. But I think we're gonna get it eventually. We should be able to drive this thing at some point, because eventually I'm gonna run out of stuff to have to fix on here. Hopefully. At least that's the plan. So make sure that's nice. That's good. We got this back on here. Okay, now I gotta do the pain in the ass side, which I have to hold this up. I don't No, let me see if I can turn this around so you can see what I'm gonna do from this side. Okay, now you get a better idea of what I got going on. Let me try to turn the brightness up on this light. If it goes up, oh, I think she's maxed out. So try to get this out of the way once again. Okay, can you see in there? You see underneath here? I have to hold this up underneath, and there's a belt in the way. And there's a freaking piece of the chassis in the way. I don't think you're going to be able to see me do this anyways, even if I got the camera pointed right at what I got going on here. Because I can't bend myself around to get my finger in there and have the camera pointing at it at the same time. Let's see if I can move this over to this position. This is like Houdini's magic servo installer fingers over here you need or something. I don't know, man. I can't even like get this thing into place whatsoever, even having the right everything going on. Let me see here. See, now the light's real bad because I got the light on the other side of the table, so you guys really can't see what I got going on here. Oh man. So, let me see. What I'm gonna do here is, this is like so tight, I don't know how I can get my freaking finger in here and record this at the same time. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, this, I'm not gonna be able to get this on video very good. Let me just set the camera there and try to get this in position.